Arma 3 Warriors. AldoUSMC here. I want to do a tutorial to show you how to work illumination in Arma 3 Beta 0.74 build is currently what I'm running. So we're going to look at illumination from its employment from the grenade launcher, the 40mm grenade launcher. I'm here on Stratus, and you can see a couple of gents I've put out there for purposes of demonstration. Show you how to work illumination. Here we go. I got one friendly grenadier who is at about 80 meters. I've got a second one up there on the hilltop who's at about 180, just under 200 meters. That's going to become important because you're going to see that your Illum rounds will travel about 200 meters if you're trying to put them on the ground. Okay, when I say Illum rounds again, I'm talking about your 40 mic. So if we look at inventory, you're going to see here a couple of types of illumination rounds. You're going to see the 3-round GL flares. In some servers they don't implement these because they're kind of unrealistic. 203 or the 40mm grenade launcher under weapon slung is a 1-round, 1-shot device. This will actually let you shoot 3 in quick succession. So a little bit of cheating if you will, but I guess it's easier than have to reload if it works for you in your sim. Great. And that's what you see here. Got a backpack full of them. 3 GL flare, 3-round. That's if you want the 3-round burst. You'll also see just the singles flare round: white, green, red, yellow, and IR. And I found the IR flares are visible. They should not be in reality. They look just like the yellow flare rounds when you fire them, and I'll show that to you here in a minute. Okay, so there we go. We've got our MX3GL 6.5 underslung grenade launcher. And that's what we're going to be employing here. So as you can see, it is about 0310 in the morning, nice and dark. I'll go off NVGs just for a second and let you see how dark it is. So in case you didn't know, sidebar there, stars are implemented here. So there's your Big Dipper, 5 times the length of the end of the Big Dipper. There's your North Star. So you can navigate by the stars in this game. So if you don't know how to do that, now you do. Let's get back to what we're here for. I'm going to load up, switch over using the F key to my grenades, as you can see there in the upper right. Now to load my flare grenades, because I have HE loaded currently, I roll my mouse buttons the way I have it set up to bring up my menu in the upper left there. And I'm going to go ahead and load a single flare round white. I'm going to set my grenade launcher range to 100 meters. Doesn't really matter in this case, because all I'm going to do is max or aim as high as I can and put this round out. Let me go to first person view. So I'm aiming basically as high as I can. Put that round out. I'm going to go off. These flares burn for 22 seconds. That's pretty consistent. I've tried it across numerous flares. You can check it on your watch if you want. From the time you light it to the time that, time it goes off in the air to the time you let it go. Put a flare up there high. It does a nice job of illuminating the area. But you do need to remember that if it's lighting up everything, it's lighting up you too. So tactical consideration in the game. You don't want yourself seen. You know, it's great to put them up there to see a lot of stuff, but right now I'm illuminated too. You can see around me, it's lighting up the ground. So may not be a good thing, but I can definitely see those targets. It's definitely brighter near them. Now I talked about how these flare rounds will only travel about 200 meters. I'm going to go ahead and put one on the ground. They do burn on the ground. This guy remembers at about just under 100 meters. That guy's just under 2. I'm going to shoot at the hill just in front of him. And you'll see it bounced off the hill there, and now it's burning on the deck. It'll bore 22 seconds. And then go out. Now you see I've front lit him really well. When you're putting flares out on the ground, it's not lighting me up as much as it was. If you want to backlight a target, you try to put the round just over behind him, so I'm going to aim a little bit higher. Now let me set my range to 200. That'll show me about where I need to aim. Okay, now I'm set 200. See if I can put this behind me. That might actually go off in the air a little. It did. Okay, now you can see that the flare is burned on the ground behind him, and I've backlit him. And you can see the reflectance off him and his quad bike that's sitting beside him. That's a technique of being able to illuminate your targets and minimize the illumination on yourself. Back grenades. I do have some illumination. That doesn't make complete sense, but again, this is a beta. I mean, the rounds over there, I shouldn't be getting illumination here. There's nothing really for it to reflect off of. If it's cloudy or there's smoke, the smoke will illuminate, or it'll glow that color as well. Another consideration. Alright, so let me go ahead and put these down. Now, if you're going to put decent illum out for a team and you want to do air illum, you want to basically count to 15. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, fire. And that's going to give me just about the right burn, so I've got one parachute in the air while the next one's coming down. It burns out and I get consistent illumination. So in timing here, it looks like about 17 seconds, or if you count down from 15 and then fire, time for that round to get up there and hang in the air. And that's perfect illum for your team, where you're not wasting rounds, but you don't want it to go dark either. So you're trying to do consistent illumination. And it seems to me, from testing, about 15 Mississippi will get you there. So you can spread out your illum to widen up the illumination area. Of course, you're going to go through it faster. And you saw I didn't reload, so these are the 3 GL rounds, 3 round GLs. So if I want, I could put all 3 up. That's what I was talking about. Real life, unrealistic, because you've only got the one tube there you can see on the grenade launcher. You should have to reload single round every time. But again, if this is what you want to do, have at it. It's about having a good time here, right? I'm going to load up 3 yellow flares, put them up in the air, and then I'll put 3 IRs up. And you can see that right now they're currently both visible and they currently both look the same. I'm sure that the Arma 3 team will fix that when they get a chance. These are yellow. Now we're going to load up IR. And this one's in IR. So you can see in practice right now, they essentially look the same. That one should not be visible except maybe a small light, unless we have MBGs on, then you'd be able to see it. It's putting out IR spectrum light, or would be. And again, there's a good example of bloom, backlighting. Let's take a look at putting a round just behind our guy here that's at 100 meters. Now you can see here, a ricochet went off the hill. My gunner's right here. He's actually masked by it. It's so bright for me I can't see him. So that's not a good example of Illum for him. He's actually hidden if I were trying to see somebody close. Now there's a good example of backlight. If you can put it on, you can see he's silhouetted. If I could have gotten a little farther down the hill, it wouldn't be blinding me quite as much. You can see also up on the hill, I was lighting up my other grenadier. Alright, I've moved up a bit and I deployed some Chemlights just to give you an idea too. If you like using Chemlights, if they're visual light, you can see they're pretty bright when you put them out there. Green one on the left, red one right by the gunner on top of the hill, blue and yellow. So there's the levels of intensity of the light. You're not looking exactly at the green, it's on a flat part up there, so it's not quite as visible, but it's looking pretty bright. Go off MVGs here. You can see how much illumination it gets given, and it's given up his pause. So another tactical consideration, these things are not gonna be very stealth, but good way to mark for helo or something, just as long as there's no enemy in sight. Good way to mark a location. For the Institute IR Chemlights, it would be the same thing as IR Flare. Shouldn't be able to see it except with MVGs. Remember, if the enemy has MVGs, they're going to be able to see our IR Chemlight, just like they can see your laser IR laser pointer on your weapon. There's a nice little arrow. If he was carrying one that was on, you'd see a nice little beam of light saying, "Here I am." So it's pluses and minuses to using lights at night. In this case, we're talking about using illumination. There's with MVGs, you can see how much more glow you get off them because the lights are intensified. If you want to know how to switch to Chemlights, since I have them, they're essentially treated like grenades. Standard set is Control G, and you'll see up there my selectable throwable items: HE grenade, white smoke, green light. So green Chemlight is selected. I can safely hit G. See me whip out a green Chemlight, and there it goes. That's how you deploy Chemlights. Alright, so I put out a white smoke grenade on the hill to give you an idea of the light blooming you get too. Consideration for smoke. Visually, it's obscuring, but it's also, you want somebody to really see the light, put the smoke down there and that's going to glow like it is there. And you'll see it dissipate off. Okay, I threw a green Chemlight straw. You see it's not giving off a lot of light to help, but there is a little spot. Alright, here's the same cannon we threw our green Chemlight down in. So you want to light that up. As you can see, above my range of 100 meters is white parachute flares loaded up in my 40mm grenade launcher. We'll go with the altitude light first. Hang it up. You can see I'm getting illumination all over the area. There's my green Chemlight. They do stay on for a long time. Need to be aware of that. And we'll put one on the deck down there. You can see I can light that up without putting a lot of light on me. And that may be a decent way, ground lighting, see if anything's coming. Another thought on your Chemlight use, you throw it on the Chemlight, you know how long they burn. You know, a tactical consideration if you wanted to see if someone took a piece of key terrain, or wanted to deny them that, the ability to sit up there unseen, or reduce their ability. Maybe you run up there, throw it on a few Chemlights, get out of there obviously quickly, and they're going to burn for a while. It may make it harder for somebody to use a position that you want to know where it's at. Or if you just want to target a location, you know how far that is, put down a blue Chemlight at a certain range, blue at 100, red at 200, yellow at 300. Another way to pre-range a defensive position at night. Again, visible light has its downsides. Obviously, the enemy's going to be able to see it too. Alright, so that's my tutorial on flares usage. Keep them consistent. Remember, 22 seconds. Count down about 15 before you launch the next one, and you'll be consistent. If you need to get a lot of lumen out quickly to illuminate a broad area, go for it. But if you want it to last, go ahead and fire around about every 15 seconds or so, and that should keep the illum up but not waste your rounds. Also, if you're going to be an illum man for your team, whether it's 2 or more people, you're probably going to want to carry a backpack because 22 seconds isn't a long time, and you're going to need a lot of those wide illum rounds. Okay, it's AldoUSMC. Thanks for watching.